Good afternoon. It's Windham Weekly with your host, Mark Doyle, and my replacement co-host, Bill Sayers. That's right, to the voice of Monday afternoon on WILI. Ken, the usual co-host, Ken Folan, he's on leave today. We have him repopulating the frogs out in Windham Center, so he's been busy. And today we have a special guest.
I actually feel sorry for the frogs.
And we have a special guest today. We have Darien Jenkins, who is this year's valedictorian for the Windham High School graduating class. Welcome, Darien. He's been with us. He's been with the school system since the kindergarten. He started off in Sweeney, went over to the Burroughs Magnet School in third grade, and then finished at the high school. So, welcome, Darien.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for being. So we're going to talk in general about your experience, I guess, with the entire school system. As I say, you were in a close tie there. You were telling me for valedictorian. There was you and another person were close?
Yeah, Alexandra was our salutatorian this year. She's a really good student, very conscientious, works very hard.
Very good.
But not quite hard enough since you actually made it. So.
Yeah.
So tell us about your journey there. How was Sweeney School? I know you said you started at Sweeney.
Sweeney, I live like right down the road from Sweeney. My experience, it was really a lot of good teachers, a lot of fun memories. No, a lot of the teachers aren't really there anymore, but I know my kindergarten teacher, Miss Miller, and my first grade teacher, Miss Jenkins, are still there. So they got a couple of good teachers still there, but.
I'm sure they've added a couple of new good teachers.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm sure we have some new ones that are just as good.
And by the way, I forgot to mention, if you want to call in and ask Darien some questions yourself, it's 860-456-1400. Give us a call and you can be live on air with us. Okay, so we started off at Sweeney, and then you went over to the Burroughs School?
Yeah, from 3rd to 8th grade. Those are probably some of my... I don't want to say, like, best, but, like, those are really fun years with my friends. Made a couple of really good friends.
And did you take part in the, I know every year they do their science project where the competition.
Yeah, the invention convention.
Yep.
Yeah, so I made states twice, and then I think it was 2018 I made it to nationals in Dearborn, Michigan.
Wow.
Wow. See, these are things you don't hear about. If we had a local newspaper, Mark, maybe they'd be reporting on it. You know what I'm saying?
So what was your invention that got you to the nationals?
It was called the Kernel Catcher, and basically I went to the dollar store, I got 2 plastic bowls and like a bungee cord, and then I drilled holes on the top bowl, and like you'd pour the popcorn in and you'd shake it, and then the kernels would like fall through the holes, so you don't like accidentally eat a kernel.
Oh, okay. So
you'd
you'd
separate the kernels out. Interesting thought. That's not bad. Yeah, I just break teeth with them.
I was going to say that'll save you a lot of time at the dentist there, Bill.
Yeah. So now at the Burroughs School, did you participate in any sports programs or?
Yes. So 6th grade, I did cross country, and then from there, I played basketball all 3 years.
All 3 years, good. Come on, Mark.
Now, so what are the other sports that are available at Burroughs?
So I don't know if they have volleyball right now, but I know they have soccer, they have boys, girls basketball, baseball. I don't know if they do track. They might co-op with Windham Middle, but I'm not sure. Yeah,
they might. Because the Windham Middle does have the track field that they could use.
Now, at the Burroughs School, did you have individual study programs, or how does that work?
I mean, I really think it's not really that different compared to the middle school or like any of the other elementary schools. It's just, to me, the thing that I remember most is like the smaller class sizes. So like my graduating class in 8th grade, we had like 60 kids. For Windham Middle, I don't know how many people go there. Maybe it's like 200, 300.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it was 168 in your graduating class, so So I'm sure there's there's a couple hundred in the classes at the middle school. So did now you're going to go to college? You say for accounting. Was that an interest you got sparked from the middle school, or something you got sparked from the high school?
Well, I'm gonna go to UConn to study finance and minor in accounting, but it really started in high school, like when I started to think about like what did I really want to do, and I took a couple of business classes. Sophomore year, I took UConn micro and macroeconomics, and that really like made me realize I wanted to do something with business.
Well, I'll tell you, UConn has an amazing program in finance and in accounting. So, you're very fortunate. My sister, a graduate of UConn, just recently retired as the comptroller for the city of Boston. So the opportunities are there for you. She now works as a consultant to the mayor of Boston. So, things are, UConn will open doors for you, most definitely.
Yeah, I feel like the networking opportunities, I just have to put myself out there on campus, meet new people, and then from there, I just got to continue to work hard.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're at the high school, what sort of activities, sports did you do there?
So at the high school, I played football 4 years. I was captain for my junior and senior year. I played basketball for 4 years. And then freshman year, I did track. And then from sophomore year to senior year, I played golf in the spring.
Oh.
Very good. Very good. It suddenly hit me. I said, now I know where I've seen the name, heard the name. I've probably read it in the Chronicle, And do you have a sister that plays ball?
Basketball, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Good. So you have a sports-oriented family.
Yeah, my brother was a part of the 2022 state champion basketball team. He started on that team.
Very good. Very good. So, did you do any, other than sports, were there any other activities that helped you get into UConn?
The one that I'd like to highlight is the peer mediator program. We didn't have it, or it stopped after COVID, but we started it back up 2 years ago. And basically what we do is like we try to mitigate conflicts between students without like administration handing out consequences. And the main goal of it is to like find a common ground between the students. Like they don't have to be friends necessarily after. Like we're just trying to find a solution that fits both parties.
Oh, so you act as a mediator.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And that was something that you did and you enjoy. That's good. Starting out in, showing you can work across the aisle. Maybe you'll end up with a career in politics. So, come on, Mark. I gave you an opening.
I'm more interested in peer mediator because the peer mediator started originally way back when. I know my daughter, when she was there, was a peer mediator, and she's in her 40s now. So that's how long ago that was. But how many peer mediators did you have?
Around 12 or 14. Mm-hmm. We had kids in the junior class and the senior class.
And is that, I assume the teachers are helping select who's going to be the mediators, that's just self-selected?
Yeah, they tend to look for kids who are... So one of the main things about being a peer mediator is you can't just go around telling people other people's business. So like they're trying to look for trustworthy students who aren't going to gossip and do all that type of stuff.
Keep somebody's confidence.
Yeah.
Excellent. Important traits. So you would get the two people into a room who are having a disagreement of some sort, and you would sit down and work it out with them.
Yeah. We were trained by some good friends at Project Emo. They were down here, but I think they're at the Chamber of Commerce now.
Nope. Still down here.
Oh, really?
Still down here. Never moved.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are some really valuable resources for us to learn.
Was that the teacher who was in charge of the program?
The two teachers that helped us were Miss Godbout and Miss Heppel, I think.
Okay.
But
very good.
So on your path through the high school, when you obviously started in the ninth, when did you feel you were on the path to become the valedictorian? When were you? Obviously, that was a goal at some point you had. When did that come about?
Well, it was always like a goal for me, I guess, because I don't want to say I can't afford college, but like college nowadays, it's for a lot of people, it's a struggle
very
to pay.
It's tough for anybody
process,
to afford college
yes.
these days.
So I kind of wanted to alleviate some of that burden on my parents. So that was always a main goal of mine. I'd say around sophomore year, my business teacher was telling me I'm in the top 5, or I was 2 at the time. She was saying you could really do it if you put your mind to it. So I stuck with it.
And who was the business teacher? Let's give her credit.
Dr. Sanchez.
Ah, okay. Now, so I assume that meant that as valedictorian, you received the UConn scholarship?
Yeah, so they paid like all 4 years for my tuition, but I'm going to be paying for room and board.
Right. But you had other scholarships to go to help for that, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I know you said you got one of the Daughters for Scholars scholarships?
Yeah, the Peter Leeds Scholarship.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a scholarship that Peter, who's a former educator himself and now a realtor, but he created that scholarship and was in memory of his wife. He's been an ongoing donor to the scholarship program. So how was your valedictorian speech? Was it well received? Did you work on it for a while?
Yeah, I started around like late May because that was when they like officially did the class rank. But yeah, my main focus was like around our community and like how we might be underrepresented, or I don't want to say underprivileged, but like, what's the word? I lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
Hey, and you're not old yet. Hang on.
While he's looking for the train, don't forget you can call us at 456-1400 and ask a question yourselves.
Yes, please do.
But yeah, the main theme of my speech was about how gritty our town is and how we can't let other people define who we are and just stick to what we're good at.
I always had a question about the speeches that you guys do. Are they censored in any way?
I guess it depends on like the topic you're writing about, because they look at your speech before you're allowed to go up there. But I would assume like you couldn't talk about politics or stuff like that. But other than that, I don't really think they censor the speeches.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, by the time you get to that valedictorian, I don't believe you're looking to throw bombs over anybody.
Oh, no.
So on your path through the high school, you said you were in sports. Do you have any good football locker room stories for us?
I'd say sophomore year, like my most fond memory was after we beat Killingly, and they were, at the time, they had like a 7 or 8 year winning streak at home.
Yep.
And that was a really big accomplishment for us. We went 9-1 that year, made the playoffs for the first time in a while, but we lost in the first round. But either way, it was a pretty big accomplishment.
Now, you got to play on the new turf field, right?
Yeah, that was probably one of the greatest assets we've received over the years. I remember playing there when I was little, and the grass field was just totally uneven, a lot of injuries, but now that we have the turf field, I feel like it's going to benefit our students a lot.
Well, any thoughts on your coach that you want to fill us in on? I kind of know him, so.
Mr. Prose has been a mentor for me. I know some people might think he's a colorful character, but he's really been a great help for me, helped me grow as a person, grow as a man. So I give all the credit to him as well as the other coaches on that staff.
How about telling us what it was like to go to school in a building that was under construction?
Yeah, those first couple of years where it was ongoing renovation, it was a little bit distracting when you have like people drilling into walls and like relocating classrooms. It's not really fun when you have to figure out where you are when it's constantly changing, but we managed.
Obviously, it didn't affect you.
Not too much, but yeah.
So what was the transition like? How did you like, now that they finally finished it, at least you had your senior year of the finished school?
Yeah, I know they promised before. I mean, we didn't see COVID coming, but it was supposed to be done by the time I got there. But now that it's done, I feel like it's really good. It's really good. It's really modern. You don't have those classes that are just completely hot because there's no AC.
Right.
But yeah, I just hope the current students and the future students just cherish and realize how special it is to have a basically brand new high school.
Yeah,
Well, it is basically brand new.
Yep. Yeah, it's all been redone. The cafeterias, the kitchens, the classrooms. The only other talk about the. I'm assuming, given the valedictorian status, you took a lot of the AP classes. You must have a number of college credits racked up already.
Yeah. So this year I took 3 AP courses, and last year I took 1. But the main thing that students should look out for is the free ECE courses from UConn that Windham High School students can take. Going into my freshman year at UConn, I think I'm going to have around 56 credits, including the credits from the QVCC. So
Wow. Good for you.
after my first semester, if all things go according to plan, I'll be a junior credit-wise. So.
All right.
Wow. Good for you.
Now, what was the QVCC connection that you were talking about?
So it's the same thing as like the UConn courses. They're free. I think the 2 QVCC courses I took were business courses. So like Intro to Business and Personal Finance.
And you took those at QVCC or at the high school?
At the high school.
High school,
Same
okay.
thing with the UConn
Same type of
classes.
classes. They were just sanctioned by the QVCC. All right.
Yeah.
And because it's in state, they're totally transferable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, of your experiences at the high school, what would you recommend to incoming freshmen? What would you think a path of success for our incoming freshmen will be?
Try to challenge yourself. I'd say once you hit your sophomore year, I think that's when you can start taking those UConn courses. They're free, so like why not take advantage of the opportunity? Like, you're going to be saving yourself so much money if you're taking those classes, getting good grades, and then say you want to go to a place like UConn, you have all those credits already.
Right. And those are all taught by our own staff. Now, again, I recall from my kids being there, there was a test at the end that you had to take in order to get the credits. Am I thinking of the same classes?
I think that's for the AP courses. For the
Okay,
UConn
right.
courses, I mean, you're going to have a final, but
Okay, so the
It's not
AP
the
courses you have
NLPL.
to score. Okay.
yeah.
So again, we're just if I was an incoming freshman, is there particular clubs or sports or how do you get yourself into the system into the school?
So I think there's a bunch of clubs. I think we have like 10 or 12 clubs. One club that I was in at my time at Windham High School was the Community Service Club. We just go around, like this year we did like a hot chocolate drive. We did a clothes drive. We made like gift bags for staff and our custodians. Like, I feel like that's a great opportunity to meet new people and put yourself out there.
And that seems the theme I've heard from other students is getting involved in these activities is probably one of the keys to success at the high school. So that you're involved with other students, you're meeting other people. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would. I definitely would say that it gives you another pillar of support, because then you have people that you know that you can trust or you can call on for help, things like that.
Good. And of course, there's probably the usual. There's the probably band and orchestra and all of that, right? Chorus and yep. Good. And of course, you can't walk away without recommending that the incoming male freshman consider football.
Yeah. Lately, we've been having like a decline in numbers. I know at the youth level, we've been struggling, but I definitely say to all the incoming freshmen, if you want to like focus on school, the sports are going to help you do that, because you have to pass in order to play. So.
Good.
So a declining number in the youth football program, you think?
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's just football. I would say it's like a lot of the sports. I don't know if it was because of COVID or some other thing, but
Do you think that video games interfere with kids and their ability to study?
I wouldn't say so because, to be honest, I'm a gamer. Like, I play video games a lot. So if I'm not on the football field or the basketball court or on the golf course, that's what I'm doing. So I feel like moderation is important because some kids might not do well with that.
Okay, good.
So you don't want to make that your sole focus. So I assume you were also in the National Honor Society?
Yeah, I was the NHS president.
Okay. So your senior year or junior and senior?
Senior year.
Okay. Did you go in junior year?
We were inducted at the end of our junior year, yeah.
So that was one of the many clubs that are available to you. I had a question myself that I lost the train of thought. Must be catching, Bill.
Yeah, well, what can I say? I apologize. I apologize. So the work that was done at the school, you're happy with it?
Yeah.
It looks good? You think it's worth the money we paid?
Definitely. I just feel like we have to encourage kids to go to the high school because I remember 8th grade year, I was asking all my friends at STEM, I was like, where are you guys going to school? And it was a lot of the Windham kids that were saying, oh, I don't want to go to Windham High School because of XYZ. And the things that they were saying weren't true or backed, in my opinion, at least.
All right, we're about to take a break for commercials, and we'll be right back at WILI. Welcome back. This is Windham Weekly with your host, Mark Doyle, and my stand-in co-host who's doing an excellent job, Bill Sayers.
Well, thank you, Mark.
You're welcome, Bill. Bill is learning from the master. That's why he's here, but he's also helping me out by taking Ken's place. Ken Folan is on leave, as I've mentioned earlier. He's helping to repopulate the frogs out there in Windham Center. We want to keep him busy.
Poor frogs.
And we have our special guest, Darien Jenkins, who was this year's valedictorian at the Windham High School, talking about his experience at the high school and actually in education in general. And as I've just finally put together my own self, and I should have known this, your father was Jack Jenkins, or is Jack Jenkins.
I was going to say, was? What did I miss?
Jack Jenkins, who was very involved as a student when my kids were at the school. So tell us a little more about your family history with the Windham system.
Yeah, so my dad, he went to Windham High School. He was a really good football player, really good basketball player too. He's a part of that team that went 20-0 when they were in the CCC. So that was pretty impressive. My uncle, he was also, I think he was New England champ wrestler.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, he wasn't so good. His team wasn't so good.
Oh, come on now. He was the state champ.
His football team wasn't so good,
okay.
But really good wrestler.
He wrestled under Pat Risley, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Him or Coach Crudden.
Well, yep. Coach Crudden was the football for a long time, and wrestling, and then he turned the reins of the wrestling over to Pat Risley.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some really good coaches at Windham High School. I feel like our teams are very successful, even though we don't have a lot of numbers. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, so you've had a family history of success at the high school. Was that any pressure as you were making your way up there, knowing the?
Well, definitely, because I couldn't live up to my dad's shoes, but I tried my best. So hopefully I made him proud.
He wasn't valedictorian though, so
And now he's teaching at the high school, right?
Yeah, he's a paraprofessional.
Yep.
Yeah, good.
So what's your, let's talk about, you were mentioning during the break something about recommending the high school experience, because there are some negative, just I think old wives' tales out there about the high school. Tell us a little more about your experience and your recommendation for people considering the Windham High School. Yeah,
so I really think that Windham High School is a really good option for a lot of students in Windham. I definitely say don't believe the perceptions of someone who was there 20 years ago, because that's not how it is now. So I definitely say if you're on the fence about going to Windham High School, just try it, If you don't like it, just transfer. But I feel like people don't give it a shot because of someone's past experience many years ago. So definitely say try it.
Good.
And a couple of weeks ago, I think I mentioned to you again during off the air that a couple of weeks ago we had some of the students who were part of the reading program at Sweeney, and I think you mentioned to me that you were also in that program, right?
Yes. So
how was that experience?
So that was a really engaging and like eye-opening experience. So our main goal of reading to the kids at Sweeney was to like build literacy, because I know a lot of people talk about our test scores and not meeting benchmark or whatever. So our goal was to improve literacy by making kids more engaged or looking forward to reading. And I definitely think our time there has helped them out.
Sitting on a town council, I hear a lot of things. And one of the things I hear about is bullying at the high school, or bullying in the school system in general. Do you see that as a problem?
At the high school, I don't really think so. At least at Windham High School. I mean, I haven't seen it or or heard other people say that there's been bullying, but I could be wrong. But at the same time, I feel like our high school is so close, like tight knit, that people frown upon stuff like that.
Good. Then
as a peer counselor, you would have been exposed to, if there
yes.
was there, you would have been exposed to that in terms of helping people work out their differences.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, back to your question about the bullying. At the high school level, I don't really see it because everyone has their own problems that they're facing. They don't have time to do stupid stuff like that.
Good.
See, Bill, it's not like in your days when you had time to do stupid stuff.
I will deny those cherry bombs till the day I die. Nothing to do with them.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
Now, other than, I mean, your path was to get you through the valedictorian level. For kids who weren't quite achieving at that level, though I'm sure they all could, how are the other? There's all sorts of other programs with the high school. Tell us if you have any experience or your knowledge of those other programs. I know for a while there we were working with the fire department on an EMT. I know we have other science, other health. Tell us about some of those other ones.
So I don't know if they've gone away from pathways. So basically, you could after your freshman year, you take a class called career exploration. So you look at certain jobs on the Bureau of Labor statistics, and then you try to figure out which one you'd want to do based on your personality and what you like and stuff like that. So
there's a whole computer lab set up for that purpose, correct?
Yes. Yep. So Mr. Pros actually teaches one of those classes, and he'll help you find out what you want to do in your future if you're unsure and stuff like that. So you have, at least when I went freshman year, you had that, and then you chose from a set number of pathways. So mine was the business one. There is another one where it's medical, stuff like that.
Right.
I don't remember the other ones, but
that's all right.
No, that's okay. You chose your path and excelled and exceeded at it. So,
but the point being that that's another benefit of going to Windham. They help you so you're not just floundering. To pick the type of programs and classes you want to take and where you're going to go.
Yeah, it really helps out narrowing down your choices if you're really unsure. So that's one thing I really would like to applaud them for.
Now, was UConn always your first choice of college, or did you look at some other ones, or?
I think I had 12 colleges on my list that I applied to, but I always felt like UConn was going to be the one I was going to because of the whole tuition thing.
Well, yeah. Once you get the UConn scholarship, it becomes a, as they say, no-brainer choice.
Well, you had a list of 12, but how many did you actually apply to?
10.
10?
Yeah. So my top 3 were it was UConn, Bryant, and then Dartmouth if I got in. But I got waitlisted at Dartmouth, so. couldn't go there.
Well, you don't want them anyways. So you got your first choice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, UConn. So you stay local, and then you get the tuition. Even Bill could make that decision, right, Bill?
I think so. I think
it's,
so.
It's like bonding your education, Bill. You just
you just bond it and pay for it over the next 30 years. Yep.
So do you have an idea of what area of, or you haven't even started the college, so I'm probably premature in this question, but what area of finance are you looking to go into?
So I was thinking of like becoming a CFO, so probably corporate finance, or if I like change my mind, probably investment banking, something like that.
Very good. Very good.
We could use that in town, Bill.
Yes, we could. Yes, we could. Yep. With all the millions that we have sitting in the bank. Yeah. Yep.
So you did golfing as well as how's the?
What's your handicap?
I'll be honest. I'm still in like the 20s. I'm not really good. Like my lowest round at Willie was like 40, 41, but
In 9 holes.
yeah,
Not bad. Come on.
yeah. 18. The lowest I shot is like 88. I'm not good yet, but hopefully the more I play, the better I get.
I know guys that go out and play on a weekly basis, and that's what they're hitting. Because they're just out there to have fun. Back when I played, there was a gentleman from Willimantic. He and his brothers used to own what was called Sweeney's Stationery. And he was considerably older than the crew that I played golf with. And he looked at us all one day and said, as long as you can hit it straight, you're all set. So that was our goal, was to hit it straight.
Sweeney Stationery. I was trying to think of that name last week on the show. I could not come up with Sweeney. I remember it was still up here on Main Street.
Yep, Sweeney Stationery. Yep. You went there to get your Sunday paper. And then, first you left church, you came down north, you stopped at the bakery and got your donut holes. And then you turned right onto Main and went across the street and got your newspaper at Sweeney's. And then you could go home and have a nice quiet dinner.
Let's see now.
Of course, I was, 10 or under back then,
That's
but,
right. I always had all that time getting stationery at Sweeney Stationery. I should have got the papers there.
Oh.
That's the life on Main Street, Bill. We'll have to have that show next week where we talk about what went on Main Street.
Oh, I'd love to. Love to.
Now, when you were so you did football, you made it to the state's first round the first year, and you said you did golf. I forgot. Where you had a winter sport?
Basketball.
Basketball. How was that for you?
Freshman year, I was very lucky to be a part of that team that went to the state final and won it all. Definitely some great memories with those teammates. My brother, my dad was on the coaching staff.
I was going to say, Dad should have been helpful for that program for you.
Yeah, so it was a really crazy experience.
Dad came up through the Ron Pires experience, I'm sure, back when Ron was still coaching. Well, actually, Ron started long before I did, but Ron started at the YMCA and then went on to become his teaching degree and then became the coach of the E.O. Smith. But he was a developer of a lot of young talent here in Windham, and I'm sure Jack was part of that group.
Yeah, he was. He used to tell us stories about the practices he ran and all the different sorts of wisdom he took from Ron Pires.
Yeah, Ron was a natural. As I say, he worked with me, or I worked with him, or basically he worked with me when I was at the YMCA here in town when I first came to town. And the man was a natural. He could communicate with any group, any number of students in any group. He just had a magic ability to deal with the kids. Now, in terms of the high school, you said your valedictorian was close. Are you guys still friends?
Yeah.
You didn't lose a friendship over the loss of.
No, because either way, valedictorian, salutatorian, UConn offers that free tuition either way.
Yep.
So I know she's going to UConn. I think she's studying nursing, which is really good.
Yep.
They have a really good nursing program.
Yes, they do. Eastern is developing an excellent nursing program as well right now. In cahoots with Windham Hospital.
Yes, they are starting one. So at the graduation, unfortunately this year you had to go indoors because of the threat of rain. So other than it being extremely hot, how was your graduation this year?
I was definitely a little bit disappointed for it to be inside because I was hoping to have a lot of family coming from out of state on my mom's side.
Yeah.
But
And unfortunately, that inside limits your attendance. You're right.
Oh, yes, you have to get tickets and, yep.
Yeah, that was a whole fiasco that they had to navigate, but we figured it out.
Yeah, at some point there was someone doing counterfeit tickets online. I understand, so they had to regroup at the last minute. Yeah,
Really?
they had
I
to
never thought of doing that. Were they getting good money?
I don't know, Bill.
Well, it's something we should think about next year, Mark.
Selling our own tickets. How now? Did you get a standing ovation for your speech? Unfortunately, I missed it this year. As a board member, I've gone to many graduation, but I didn't make this year's graduation house. So, did you get a standing ovation?
I mean, I don't want to be like.
Go ahead. Be like Bill.
Go ahead. Come
Be like
on.
Bill. Go
Pat
ahead.
yourself on the back.
I think I got a standing ovation.
Good.
I had multiple graduates come up to me after and say that I had a really good speech. But
Good.
I was
Good.
really nervous up there.
Hey, folks, he's here to take your questions. 860-456-1400.
So you say some of your mother's families were left out, but did you, with Jack and your uncles, all were they there as well for you?
Yeah. So my uncle Kirk, he was there, but his daughter was also graduating. My cousin Anaya Jenkins. You probably heard of her before. She's like basketball player going to Eastern.
Yeah.
So he got his tickets. My family from Mass, they actually set up like a live stream in the auditorium for them to watch. So
Yes, I heard that. That's nice. Yeah.
that was nice.
Also nice because it was air conditioned in the auditorium.
Yeah.
So so the family did get to see it one way or the other. That's good. Did you go to a big party afterwards, or did you go to project graduation?
So I had like a little get together at my house before I went to project grad. It was really nice to see all my family there.
Yeah.
Yeah, project grad was fun too.
You did go to project grad? Oh, it looks like we got a phone call coming in here. Let's get our magic earphones on.
Should be there.
Go ahead, caller. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. You got a question for us?
Yeah. Darren had a great speech, and I don't think he never shot an 88.
Is that Oscar?
Yeah.
I could tell.
I have Risley right here on my left.
What's up?
Not much.
Hey, Darien, I thought your speech was awesome. I've been to so many through the years. You really represented your family well and Windham High School well. We were proud of you.
Thank you.
Well, that's from Vice Principal Pat Risley. How you doing, Pat?
That's nice.
I'm doing great, Mark. How you doing? Hey, Bill, how's everything?
Good, Pat. Good. Good to hear your voice.
We have another
great
fine representative of the Windham High School student body here today.
Yes.
Yes, and he's one of our finest. He's a great kid. We're going to miss him.
Now, you're going to play him in golf sometime soon, Pat?
Oh, absolutely. I go out with his dad, Jack, every once in a while, and we'll have to get Darien out there with us.
I think he's lying about his handicap, but, keep an eye on him.
No, Darien's playing really well. Jack, on the other hand, he lies about his handicap. He's a sandbagger.
Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, I was going to say we were driving back from hitting some balls on the range, actually, and we've been sitting and listening to them, really enjoying the talk that you guys are having, and I'm so glad you guys have some of our students on there to talk about Windham High.
Well, there's a lot of good things going on at the high school, and I think people just need to hear about them, especially from the actual students themselves.
And the other thing that we can be proud of is that these students are our future, and we need to encourage them every bit we can.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thanks for the call, Pat. Anything else?
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was nice. Again, the phone number is 860-456-1400.
One of the things we've noticed over the years, Darren, is that students who stay with us actually seem to do very well. And you've been in the system since kindergarten. So is that, do you think, I don't know if you can make a comparison, but has that helped your progression by being in the system?
I definitely say so, because once you get acclimated to like the school environment and like you're making friends, it becomes a lot easier.
Now, after graduation, do you plan on hanging around the area, or are you looking, where are you looking, New York, Chicago?
No, I'm just going to be staying home up until I move in at UConn, but...
No, I mean after you graduate.
After I
UConn.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
from UConn, you know? You're going to go where the corporations are, right? Or
Yeah. Hopefully I get a couple of internships throughout college, and then from there, I'm just going to see where the wind takes me.
Good. 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 There goes our local fire department heading out again. So, again, to the kid that's sitting out there right now, and he's thinking, I heard this, I heard that. Maybe I should listen to my mom and dad, and I should go to E.O. Smith. Maybe I should. What are you going to say to them? Why should they stay at Windham?
I'd definitely say that I can't speak for the kids at E.O. Smith, but I know I can definitely say that the student body at Windham High School is really a family. There's a reason why people call it La Familia, because we're a group of really resilient kids that rely on each other.
That's great to hear.
And I assume the staff has been very supportive, because that's important for your success to have people like Pat Risley and Coach.
Pros.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really, we're really fortunate to have such a great group of teachers. I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Godbout and Miss Heppel. Those are really two. Oh, and Miss Colgan as well. Those three teachers were really helpful throughout my time at Windham High School, and they really look out for the kids and want the best for them.
Was Miss Colgan one of the Sweeney readers?
Yeah, she was the main organizer of the program. She was my AP Lang teacher, and as well as my UConn English teacher as well.
UP Lang, you mean language?
Yeah.
Okay, just trying to translate some of the jargon. Okay.
What? Speaking of language, did you take any foreign languages?
I took Spanish up to my junior year, but in the middle school, before they cut the program, I was taking Mandarin.
Okay.
Yeah, difficult getting those teachers for the Mandarin.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's a problem now getting teachers for all the.
My nephew out in Los Angeles is taking Korean right now. 13 years old, But again, they have those populations there that can support the program with educators.
So when you got to the high school and hit COVID, how were you able to navigate that? I understand a lot of students had trouble that year trying to adjust to the remote learning.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, COVID didn't really hit during high school. It hit during 7th grade. So 7th grade we went all online. We didn't really have Google Meets yet because the teachers didn't know how to use it, but
none of us did.
Yeah, it was a great change. I mean, I felt like the students were really equipped for it because a lot of us are tech savvy, I guess. So that wasn't really an issue. During the high school, I would definitely say wearing masks was a weird experience because you can't really tell how people may be feeling. You can't read their facial expressions.
Yeah, you miss a lot of the expressions. You're right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of awkward at first because it's not the norm.
No, I agree. I remember during that period I was wearing masks. I usually smile at people as I pass them by or say hi, and suddenly dawned on me that nobody could see me smiling anymore because I'm wearing the mask. So it's a whole different experience.
I just don't smile.
No, you don't, Bill. You're a stoic young man, Bill. You've always stayed that way.
That way people can't read you.
Oh, you have to take it.
So you're going to live on campus at UConn?
Yeah.
Good.
What does Mom think about that?
I mean,
he's only 20 minutes up the road.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to moms.
I mean, my brother, he goes to Eastern. He's about to graduate next year. He stayed home, and I feel like he didn't like get the whole like college
You do miss
experience
that?
of
Yep.
Oh yes.
like
Yep.
making friends and stuff like that. I feel like, especially for my major, that's extremely important, making those connections. So
I'd have to agree with you because when I went to school, when I went to college, I lived at home and went and I always felt there was something missing from that. You're not living on the campus, you're not intermeeting with your friends and your peers, and there is a little thing missing. You make trade-offs, but there is a little thing missing when you don't get to go to live in the dorms.
I agree. I just hopefully
Well,
my
it
first
didn't
year.
bother me because that way I didn't have to talk to people.
That's true. That's true. Right in your well.
Yes, my wheelhouse, Mark.
Thank
Yes,
you, the
we know.
wheelhouse.
Yeah, I got you there.
Wow.
You know, so
2 minutes.
2 minutes? Oh my God, this has flown right by here. Yep.
So what else do you have to tell us about the high school that we haven't asked? I'm sure we've asked almost everything. How's lunch in the new high school? In the new.
The kitchen is really updated and it's nice. I mean, I had home lunch like every day. I used to pack my own lunch, but some of the other kids, I think they're really satisfied with the lunch. Then again, there's always room for improvement. So
Oh, those poor lunch ladies.
So what do you have? Pizza every Friday and fish sticks on Thursdays, or you know?
But with the new setup, it probably makes it easier. I mean, that's part of what they did. They improved some of the setups out there. I know they have a full student kitchen as well now.
Oh, good.
Bringing that back.
Nice.
yeah,
nice.
it's really nice. The teacher, we call her Mimi. She's a really good teacher. She also is a teacher for the UConn classes, like family development.
Yep.
So we learn about stuff like that.
Did you take any of those classes?
Yeah, I took that class with her. She also like teaches the culinary class. I mean, I didn't have the chance to take that because I was trying to take more like college courses,
Right,
but my
right.
cousin took it. She really enjoyed that class. One thing I'd say, it's kind of hard to cook when you only have like 45 minutes.
I was
not
going to
even.
say
That's true.
it's difficult to prepare anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's about wraps it up for us, and we appreciate your coming, Darien. It's
Yes,
enjoyable talking to you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your high school career, and good luck on your college career.
I have a feeling you're going to have great success in your life.
That's it for Windham Weekly for this week, and unfortunately, folks, we will not be on air next week. We're taking the 4th of July holiday off.